What's going on, everyone? Tonight we're diving into the cosmic wonder that is our galaxy, the Milky Way. You might think it's all glittery stars and romantic cosmic poetry, but brace yourself. The reality of our galactic home is a bit more chaotic. Yes, while you dream of stargazing in a peaceful twilight, the truth is that the Milky Way is like a massive cosmic blender, swirling and churning with black holes, exploding stars, and the occasional rogue planet. Strip away the dreamy images from sci-fi movies and Pinterest boards, and you'll find a universe that's more chaotic than a cat on caffeine. But first, if you're enjoying these deep dives into history's darker truths, hit that like button and consider subscribing. Drop a comment letting me know where you're watching from and what drew you to the allure of the Milky Way. I love hearing from you all. All right, get settled in, maybe grab a drink, and let's uncover what life, existence, was truly like in our cosmic neighborhood. Now, let's start with the ancient myths. Our ancestors gazed up at the night sky and saw wonders that we might dismiss as just bright dots today. But to them, these stars were gods, stories, and sometimes the very fabric of life itself. The name Milky Way comes from the ancient Greeks, who believed it was spilled milk from the breast of Hera, the queen of the gods. Imagine that, a lactating deity creating an entire galaxy with a dairy mishap. One can almost picture the cosmic babysitter saying, "Oops, sorry universe, I just couldn't hold it in." Fast forward a bit, and we get to the Romans, who called it Via Lactea, which sounds suspiciously like a trendy milkshake bar. Just imagine a galactic road trip where the Milky Way is lined with cosmic milkshake stands, each providing a different flavor of starlight. Hey, you want a sprinkle of supernova with that dark matter? Here's where things get interesting. While myths were charming, the reality of our galaxy is nothing short of mind-boggling. The Milky Way is a barred spiral galaxy, meaning it's got a bit of a twist to it, both literally and figuratively. It stands about 100,000 light-years across and contains billions of stars. But unlike an orderly line at a modern coffee shop, these stars are not in a neat row. They're scattered all over the place, with new stars being born in regions like the Orion Nebula, where gas and dust come together in a stellar nursery. It's like a cosmic baby shower, and everyone's invited. Now, if you think the Milky Way is all about new beginnings, let's talk about how it handles endings. Forget the picturesque death of a star. We've got supernovae that are essentially the universe's way of saying, "Thanks for playing." Some stars go out with a bang, quite literally, exploding in a display of energy and light that would make a 4th of July fireworks show look like a sparkler. You might be wondering, but what about black holes? Aren't they just cosmic vacuums sucking up everything? Well, yes and no. Sure, they're the ultimate party poopers in the galaxy, devouring everything in their vicinity, but they're also crucial to our understanding of the universe. When a massive star dies, it can collapse into a black hole, creating a region of space where gravity is so strong that not even light can escape. For a long time, black holes were the stuff of science fiction. Nobody really believed they could exist. Imagine the confusion among ancient astronomers. So, you're telling me there's a place where light disappears, Someone must have had a rough day. Now let's pivot to some cultural practices that reflect humanity's relationship with the Milky Way. Many indigenous cultures have revered the galaxy as central to their beliefs and practices. For instance, Australian Aboriginal peoples have long used the Milky Way as a navigational guide and a calendar for seasonal changes. Their stories often intertwine with the stars, creating a rich tapestry of mythology and meaning. Meanwhile, in South America, the Inca civilization considered the Milky Way to be a celestial river, a bridge between the earthly and the divine. Who needs GPS when you've got the cosmic flow? And here's a fun fact. In ancient China, the Milky Way was often referred to as the Silver River, and its stars were believed to represent the souls of the departed. Can you imagine? All this time, we thought it was just a pretty view, but the ancients were out here connecting the dots between life, death, and the cosmos. Now that's some real star power. Of course, despite the intrigue, there are plenty of misconceptions floating around about our galaxy. One of the biggest is that the Milky Way is just a single entity, one uniform band of stars. In reality, it's made up of various components, including a central bulge, a disk, and a halo of dark matter. Yes, dark matter is one of those cosmic mysteries that scientists love to scratch their heads over. It's like the universe's version of Where's Waldo. You know it's there, but good luck proving it. You might also have heard that the Earth is located in the center of the Milky Way. Spoiler alert, it's not. We're actually spiraling around the galaxy's edge, about 27,000 light years away from the center. Just your average cosmic middle child, trying to get some attention while the center hogs the limelight. Speaking of limelight, let's dive deeper into the structure of our galaxy. The Milky Way is home to about 400 billion stars, give or take a few. Who's counting, right? But here's the kicker. Most of those stars won't make it to the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Some will go supernova, others will cool down into white dwarfs, and a fair number will just drift off into the void. It's like a brutal audition process, and only a select few get to shine forever. Now, let's take a moment to ponder the absurdity of our existence in this grand cosmic scheme. We're just a speck of dust on an insignificant rock, spinning around a mediocre star in a galaxy that's part of a vast universe. And yet, here we are, making up stories about it, naming constellations, and wondering if aliens will ever give us a call. It's both humbling and a little hilarious, don't you think? As we navigate through the Milky Way's many twists and turns, it's crucial to remember the human element in all of this. For centuries, we've looked up and wondered about our place in the universe. The stars have served as a canvas for our fears, hopes, and dreams, connecting us to something greater than ourselves. And while we might joke about black holes and exploding stars, at the end of the day, we're all just trying to make sense of a chaotic, beautiful cosmos. So, as we take this journey through time, myths, and realities, keep that sense of wonder alive. After all, the Milky Way has been a source of inspiration for countless generations, and if nothing else, it reminds us that amidst the chaos of life, there's beauty to be found. Now, let's unravel more about the Milky Way and explore just how intertwined our lives are with this magnificent galaxy, from the science behind its formation to the ongoing discoveries that continue to reshape our understanding. Buckle up, because the cosmic ride is only just beginning. What's going on, everyone? Tonight, we're diving into the wonders of the Milky Way galaxy. Yes, the swirling spiral that cradles our little blue planet. You might think it's all stardust and fairy tales, but let me hit you with a reality check. The Milky Way is a terrifyingly chaotic place. We're exploring what the experience of living in a galaxy truly entails. Strip away the romanticized versions portrayed in movies and books, and get ready for some cosmic complexities that would make even the toughest astronaut's head spin. At first, if you're enjoying these deep dives into the cosmos and history's darker truths, hit that like button and consider subscribing. Drop a comment letting me know where you're watching from and what drew you to this celestial topic. I love hearing from you all. All right, get settled in. Maybe grab a drink. Preferably not one of those alien juices you see in sci-fi movies. And let's uncover what life was truly like in the Milky Way, both past and present. The cosmic neighborhood, a glittering chaos. Let's start with the obvious. The Milky Way is home to about 100 billion to 400 billion stars. Yes, that's billion with a B. To put that in perspective, if every star was a person, we'd have enough folks for a galactic party. Now, imagine the social dynamics. Who gets invited? What if the sun is a terrible host? Sorry, Sirius, but you're too bright and can't handle your drinks. And let's not even get started on those distant red dwarfs. Those introverted stars would bring the mood down faster than a black hole at a rave. But here's the kicker. Despite how majestic the Milky Way might seem, it's a place rife with chaos and destruction. Stars are born, they burn bright, and then they explode in supernova, sending shockwaves through space. Meanwhile, planets are flung around like marbles, colliding with each other in a cosmic game of bumper cars. Talk about a wild neighborhood. So while we gaze up at those twinkling lights, it's worth remembering that many of those stars won't be around for long. Myths and misconceptions. The starlit fairy tale. Now, let's tackle some of the most charming misconceptions about our galaxy. You've probably heard the romantic idea that the stars are distant suns. And while that's true, it's not a complete picture. Humans have looked up at the night sky for eons, crafting myths and tales about constellations. Ancient Greeks, for instance, saw a bear in Ursa Major and a warrior in Orion. But when the stars actually twinkle, they're not just having a good time. They're often pulsating from the heat and pressure of their dying moments. So, next time you point out Orion's belt, remember that whole glorious warrior thing might be more of a cosmic afterthought than a fabulous fashion statement. Let's not forget the age-old myth about the Milky Way being made of milk, because who wouldn't want to live in a dairy galaxy? The truth, however, is that the name comes from the ancient Greeks, who called it Galaxius Kyklos, meaning milky circle. And while it sounds delicious, the Milky Way is composed of dust, gas, and billions of stars. Definitely not lactose-free. Cosmic ironies, the nature of human connection. Speaking of ancient Greeks, it's fascinating to note that human beings have been gazing at the stars for millennia, seeking connection, meaning, and perhaps a little bit of comfort in the vastness of space. Humans are by nature social creatures, and seeking connection, even with the cosmos, seems to be an intrinsic part of our existence. In fact, our ancestors used to navigate by the stars, trusting their ancient wisdom to guide them across treacherous terrains. Fast forward to today, and we're still using technology to chart our journeys, albeit in a much less romantic way. GPS systems don't exactly whisper poetic verses about the Pleiades as you drive to the grocery store. Yet the irony is palpable. We live in a world where we can connect with anyone, anywhere through the internet. Yet many people feel more isolated than ever. Perhaps we've traded the intimate starlit gatherings of our ancestors for social media, where we're bombarded by images of brunch instead of the breathtaking night sky. The stars still twinkle above us, but how often do we take the time to look up and appreciate the universe around us? Funny how a few thousand years later, we're still searching for connection, albeit in different forms. Cultural practices, starry-eyed traditions. Throughout history, cultures have crafted myriad practices and beliefs around the night sky's splendor. In many indigenous cultures, for example, the stars are not just celestial bodies. They hold stories, wisdom, and ancestral connections. The Maori people of New Zealand have their own star lore, using the stars for navigation and as a seasonal calendar for agriculture. The Pleiades cluster, known as Matariki, signifies the Maori New Year. So, while you might be busy complaining about your New Year's resolutions, the Maori were celebrating the cycle of life with the stars above. On the other side of the globe, ancient Egyptians revered the star Sirius, associating it with the annual flooding of the Nile, a life-giving event that sustained their civilization. They constructed the Great Pyramid of Giza to align with the stars, ensuring their pharaohs would have a smooth journey to the afterlife. Imagine the construction meetings. Okay, team, let's make sure this pyramid points to Sirius. We want a cosmic send-off, right? No pressure. These cultural practices highlight not only our fascination with the Milky Way, but also our deep-seated need to find meaning in the universe. As we progress through time, we've traded those ancient beliefs for scientific exploration. Yet the quest for understanding remains a constant thread connecting us to our ancestors. Scientific discoveries, peeking into the abyss. Now, let's pivot to some of the more quirky scientific misconceptions surrounding the Milky Way. Did you know that for a long time, many believed our galaxy was the center of the universe? Yes, folks, it was a real center of the universe complex. This notion was famously challenged by Copernicus, who put our sun at the heart of our solar system instead. But it took centuries for humanity to come to grips with the idea that we were merely a small part of a vast, sprawling universe. Talk about a cosmic ego check. And here's a fun twist. When astronomers later discovered the Milky Way is just one of billions of galaxies, imagine the collective gasp. Wait, we're not special? Sorry to break it to you, but even the majestic Milky Way is just another rock in the galactic playground. It's rather humbling, isn't it? Then there's the matter of dark matter and dark energy, which make up about 95% of the universe. Dark matter is like that elusive friend who always says they'll come out, but never shows up. We know it exists because of its gravitational effects, yet we can't see it, touch it, or even comprehend it fully. It's like trying to understand the inner workings of a cat's mind. There's just so much we don't know. And dark energy? Well, that's the mysterious force driving the universe's accelerating expansion. It's like the universe decided to play a cosmic game of tag and is just running away from us. What a cheeky twist. The absurdities of time, the cosmic clock. let's take a moment to appreciate the absurd notion of time itself in our galaxy. The Milky Way is approximately 13.6 billion years old. And yet, here we are, worrying about deadlines and whether we should get a promotion at work. Meanwhile, stars are living for billions of years, burning brightly and exploding in a fiery end. It's almost as if the universe is saying, "Relax, buddy. You're just a blip on the cosmic radar. Enjoy your coffee break." Speaking of coffee, consider this. Earth, orbiting a fairly average star in the outskirts of the Milky Way, is moving at an incredible velocity of about 828,000 kilometers per hour, 514,000 miles per hour, as it travels through space. So while you're standing still, sipping your morning brew, you're actually racing through the Milky Way at breakneck speed. Who needs a roller coaster when you're on a spinning planet, hurtling through a galaxy? The irony is rich here. We're so fixed on our daily grind that we forget we're on a wild ride through the cosmos. Echoes of humanity, a cosmic reflection. Let's draw some parallels between the human experience and our galactic home. Just as stars are born, live, and die in spectacular fashion, so too do we experience the cycles of life: love, loss, achievement, and disappointment. It's all part of the grand tapestry woven through eons. As we navigate our own lives, we often feel small in the face of these cosmic realities. Yet, at the same time, our experiences echo the very processes that shape the universe. Consider this. When stars explode, they distribute heavy elements like carbon and iron into space, which later form planets and eventually life. That means our very existence is rooted in the ashes of ancient stars. So when you feel insignificant, just remember, you're literally made of stardust. It's a poetic notion, but also a reminder that the universe is a cycle of rebirth and transformation. And in a way, our aspirations to explore space, to venture beyond our earthly confines, mirror the very essence of the Milky Way itself, an ever-expanding frontier. We are driven by the same curiosity that propelled ancient cultures to look up and wonder. Humanity's quest to understand the cosmos is a continuation of that age-old tradition, reminding us that while we may be small, we are part of something undeniably larger, wrapping up, but not really. As we traverse through the cosmic narrative of the Milky Way, the layers of history, myth, and science remind us of the intricate fabric that connects our lives to the vast universe. We've explored the chaos of star formation, the delightful absurdities of cultural practices, and the scientific misconceptions that have shaped our understanding of our celestial home. But don't worry, this isn't the end. There's much more to uncover as we continue this journey through the stars. From the bizarre creatures of the cosmos to our future among the stars, there are countless stories waiting to unfold. So stay tuned for the next part, where we'll dive even deeper into the wonders of the universe. Until then, keep looking up. Who knows what you might find? And remember, the next time you're gazing at the Milky Way, take a moment to appreciate not just its beauty, but the rich tapestry of stories that have been woven throughout human history. After all, we are all part of this cosmic dance, whether we like it or not. Until next time, keep that stardust spark alive. What's going on, everyone? Tonight, we're diving into the ethereal and mind-boggling realm of the Milky Way. You might think you know everything about this cosmic swirl of stars that we call home, but here's a reality check. The perception of our galaxy has shifted dramatically across cultures and eras. While today we gaze at the Milky Way with awe, often romanticized in songs and art, the truth about what it represents has often been tangled in myths and misconceptions throughout history. We're exploring what the experience of contemplating our galaxy was really like for those who came before us. Strip away the glittering fantasies that Hollywood and bedtime stories have fed you. The reality was far more complex and, dare I say, absurd than most people realize. But first, if you're enjoying these deep dives into history's darker truths, hit that like button and consider subscribing. Drop a comment letting me know where you're watching from and what drew you to this topic. I love hearing from you all. Alright, get settled in. Maybe grab a drink, and let's uncover what life was truly like when people looked up at the Milky Way. The Milky Way, across cultures. Let's kick things off with some cultural practices related to our galaxy that might make you chuckle. In ancient cultures, the Milky Way was often seen as more than just a galaxy. It was a cosmic highway, a river, or even a celestial bridge. For instance, in Greek mythology, the Milky Way was thought to be the spilled milk of the goddess Hera, as she was nursing Heracles. Can you imagine the cosmic consequences of a spilled drink? Sorry, universe, didn't mean to create a galaxy. To the indigenous peoples of North America, the Milky Way was often conceptualized as a path or a way of life. The Lakota people referred to it as the Wikapikte, meaning the road of the stars. Now here's the kicker. This wasn't just poetic nonsense. The stars acted as navigational guides for many tribes. They were the original GPS, and no one had to worry about that annoying, recalculating voice. Just look up. The ancient Egyptians, on the other hand, had a more architectural relationship with the Milky Way. They saw it as a heavenly counterpart to the Nile, which filled their lives with water and sustenance. So it makes perfect sense that they considered their pyramids gateways to the stars. Imagine a pharaoh looking up and saying, "Why settle for earthly treasures when we can have a symbiotic relationship with the cosmos?" Scientific misconceptions and witty observations. Now, let's dip our toes into the scientific realm. For centuries, people believed the Milky Way was a cloud of stars rather than an actual galaxy. Can you blame them? It looks like a celestial cotton candy. The term Milky Way itself comes from the Greek word galaxias, meaning milky circle. You know, because calling it those random glowy spots just didn't have the same appeal. But then came along Galileo in the 17th century, peering through his telescope and saying, "Hold up, folks. This is no cotton candy. It's a star-filled galaxy. Talk about a cosmic revelation." The irony is that while we've advanced light years in understanding the cosmos, we still label this vast collection of stars as the Milky Way. So we went from cloud of stars to cloud of stars that make me hungry for dessert. Great job, humanity. A fun fact: the Milky Way is not just a pretty face. It's a sprawling behemoth with a diameter of about 100,000 light years. Just imagine trying to get from one side to the other. You'd need to pack a lunch, like a really big one. And speaking of scale, let's talk about the absurdity of distance. In the grand scheme of things, the Milky Way is just one of billions of galaxies. When you contemplate that, it's like realizing that your favorite local diner is just one of countless eateries in a city you've never explored. You might think you know the best burger, but who knows what culinary delights await you a mere galaxy away. Human nature, cosmic connections. So, what does all this say about human nature? Well, throughout history, we've always had an insatiable curiosity about the stars. The ancient Babylonians mapped the heavens and tracked celestial movements, likely with the same enthusiasm as modern-day fans tracking their favorite reality TV show contestants. Will Mars and Venus date? Will they break up? This drama is astronomical. That same curiosity drives us today. We're compelled to explore, discover, and, let's be honest, occasionally freak out about what's out there. The irony is that while we've peeled back layers of the universe, we still struggle with understanding ourselves. We've launched spacecraft to the edge of the solar system, yet some people still can't fathom why they can't find their keys. And speaking of keys, our desire to answer the cosmic questions continues to fuel our exploration of the universe. The Hubble Space Telescope has taken stunning images of galaxies, and scientists have discovered that the Milky Way is on a collision course with the Andromeda Galaxy. Imagine the look on their faces when they realized we're literally hurtling toward our cosmic neighbors. Hey, we thought we'd have a peaceful eternity here. The absurdity of our universe. Now, let's take a moment to appreciate the absurdities of our existence within the Milky Way. Did you know that our galaxy is home to a supermassive black hole at its center, named Sagittarius A star? Yes, a black hole that's about 4 million times the mass of our Sun. It's like the universe decided to create a cosmic vacuum cleaner, except, you know, one that sucks in stars and planets instead of crumbs. And speaking of cosmic ironies, let's not forget how we observe these black holes. The first image of one was captured in 2019, and the world collectively gasped. We did it. But here's the kicker. We only saw a shadow of the black hole. It's like taking a photo of someone's silhouette and calling it a portrait. Look at this great shot of darkness. Links between past and present, connecting past beliefs about the Milky Way to present scientific understanding, illustrates our journey as a species. For many ancient cultures, the stars were divine messages, marking seasons and guiding agricultural practices. Today, we know the stars are mere balls of burning gas, some of which have already died long ago, their light just traveling through space-time to reach our eyes. So, in a way, when you look up at the night sky, you're peering into the past, kind of like watching an old sitcom rerun. Oh look, there goes Beetlejuice, still being dramatic, as usual. Yet, despite our modern understanding, we still cling to the poetic nature of the universe. We've turned nebulas into stunning light shows and black holes into ultimate mysteries. It's as if humanity collectively agreed that while we might know scientifically what's happening, we prefer to let our imaginations run wild. And maybe that's the most human thing about us, our ability to blend facts with the fantastic, cosmic irony, and the human experience. Before we wrap up this leg of our journey, let's touch upon a fantastic irony: how little we actually know. While we've mapped out the Milky Way and even calculated its mass, there's still a great deal we don't understand, like dark matter and dark energy. which make up about 95% of the universe. Think of it as humanity's version of knowing your car's engine has oil, but you have no idea what it actually does. At least I know it's there, right? The absurdity of it all is that we're this intelligent species, exploring the cosmos, yet we're baffled by what makes up the fabric of the universe. It's like trying to assemble a puzzle with pieces that don't seem to fit, yet somehow we're still excited about it. Closing thoughts, but not really. As we continue to explore the Milky Way, from its rich cultural significance to its scientific mysteries, we must remember that our relationship with the cosmos is a mix of awe, absurdity, and a touch of hilarity. Humanity has always looked to the stars for answers, inspiration, and sometimes just a good chuckle. From spilled milk to cosmic collisions, the Milky Way has been a constant reminder of how little we truly understand about our universe and ourselves. So stay tuned for more explorations into this vast expanse of stars. In our next installment, we'll dive deeper into the myths surrounding the Milky Way and how they've shaped our understanding of the night sky. Until then, keep looking up. Who knows what other cosmic absurdities await us? What's going on, everyone? Tonight, we're diving into the wondrous, swirling expanse of the Milky Way galaxy. You might think it's all starry nights and poetic musings, or at least something out of a sci-fi flick. But here's the kicker. While we gaze up in awe at the cosmos, what we actually know about our galaxy is a bit like thinking we know how to cook just because we can microwave popcorn. We're exploring the mind-boggling reality of our galactic neighborhood, where the truth is far stranger than the romanticized version of the universe that movies and books have fed you. But first, if you're enjoying these deep dives into history's darker truths, hit that like button and consider subscribing. Drop a comment letting me know where you're watching from and what drew you to this topic. I love hearing from you all. Alright, get settled in. Maybe grab a drink and let's uncover what life was truly like back then. Well, back then. In cosmic terms, which is more like eons ago. Hashtag the name game. Etymology of the Milky Way. To kick things off, let's chat about the name Milky Way. It seems like such a sweet term, doesn't it? Like a celestial candy bar. But the origins are a bit more creamy than you might expect. The name comes from the ancient Greeks who thought the galaxy was spilled milk from the breast of Hera, the queen of the gods. And if you think that's weird, just wait. The Romans called it Via Lactea, which literally means Milky Road. I mean, who knew that the origin of our galaxy's name was a celestial dairy product? Imagine ancient Greek philosophers staring at the stars, saying, "You know, I really feel like that one looks like a spilt milkshake." It's quite the juxtaposition to our modern-day fascination with the cosmos. But here's where a dash of irony comes in. We are still trying to figure out if there's actual milk in the universe, specifically in the liquid form, like water. More on that later. Ancient myths and cosmic beliefs. Now, let's bounce back to the past, where cultures around the world had their own interpretations of the Milky Way. For example, in some Native American cultures, the Milky Way was seen as a river of spirits, a pathway for the deceased. Isn't that a lovely concept? It adds a whole new layer to the idea of going to the stars. Meanwhile, The Chinese viewed it as the heavenly river, and they believed that both lovers and the stars were separated by the Milky Way, only to meet on a single night each year. Talk about a cosmic soap opera. The absurdity of these interpretations reveals so much about human nature across time. We've always looked to the heavens, yearning to make sense of our existence. Whether it's a path for lost souls or a romantic rendezvous, the stars have inspired stories and gods, showing us that we're much more alike than we often realize. The cosmos as a mirror. Speaking of how our beliefs mirror our nature, let's consider the idea that the Milky Way is actually a ridiculously massive spiral structure filled with gas, dust, and billions of stars. It's a stellar mess, really. Scientists estimate there are about 100 billion to 400 billion stars in our galaxy alone. That's a mind-boggling number, and yet here we are, sitting on a small rock in the midst of this cosmic cacophony, arguing about who left the lights on in the office. The irony? We're so small in this vast universe, yet we spend so much time bickering about trivial matters. The Milky Way is a constant reminder of our place in the universe, a speck of dust in a cosmic sandbox. Yet we insist on playing king of the hill. It's a classic human trait. We're never satisfied with our lot, even when we're occupying a position in the universe that's pretty darn amazing. Misconceptions and cosmic realities. Now let's take a moment to debunk some common misconceptions about our galaxy. One popular myth is that the Milky Way is the only galaxy out there. Spoiler alert, it's not. There are an estimated 2 trillion galaxies in the observable universe. So, if you've ever felt lonely gazing up at the stars, just remember, there's a whole universe of neighbors out there, and some of them probably have really loud parties we just can't hear. Another misconception? The idea that we can simply see the Milky Way from Earth. Well, hold on to your telescopes. Light pollution is a real buzzkill. Many people in urban areas have never laid eyes on the Milky Way because the glow of city lights drowns out those twinkling stars. So, if you've ever felt the frustration of trying to stargaze while living in a city, just remember, you're not alone. Most of the human population is in the same cosmic boat. Chapter 7: Cultural Practices and How They've Shaped Humanity's Connection to the Milky Way. For countless cultures, the stars have been vital for navigation and agriculture. Ancient Polynesians, for instance, used the stars to navigate vast oceans, turning the night sky into their own galactic GPS. Can you imagine a world without Google Maps? Talk about a navigation nightmare. And while we're on the topic of ancient navigators, let's not forget the fascinating absurdity of early astronomers thinking that the Earth was the center of the universe. Imagine the shock when they discovered they were just another planet orbiting a mediocre star in a spiral arm of a galaxy. It's like finding out you're not the main character in your own life story, more like a supporting cast member in a cosmic sitcom. Time and human nature. If there's one thing we can't escape from throughout history, it's the human need to understand our place in the universe. Whether it was ancient shamans reading the stars to predict the weather, or modern scientists peering through powerful telescopes, we've been trying to make sense of things for centuries. Our relationship with the cosmos is a reflection of our eternal quest for meaning. And here's an interesting irony. The more we learn about the universe, the more we realize how much we don't know. We might discover the existence of dark matter or black holes, but then we find ourselves grappling with existential questions that would make even Socrates scratch his head. What is the nature of reality? Are we alone in the universe? Who ate the last cookie? These are the profound questions that keep scientists and philosophers up at night, each trying to unlock the secrets of existence while silently judging each other for their questionable snacking choices. Cosmic ironies and absurdities. Let's switch gears for a moment and delve into some of the cosmic ironies and absurdities that come with our understanding of the Milky Way. For instance, the fact that the Milky Way is constantly in motion, spinning at about 230 kilometers per second, while we're sitting here, sipping our coffee, totally unaware. And even more absurd, the galaxy is on a collision course with the Andromeda Galaxy, set to happen in about 4.5 billion years. So, in cosmic terms, that's practically just around the corner, like a cosmic traffic jam waiting to happen. Imagine the celestial insurance claims after that collision. Yeah, we were just minding our own business, and boom, Andromeda comes barreling towards us. Can I get compensation for the emotional distress? It's a testament to the unpredictability of the universe, reminding us that even in the grand scheme of things, we're all just trying to figure it out as we go along. So what's the takeaway from all of this? As we unravel the mysteries of the Milky Way, we also need to recognize the connections between our past and present. From the ancient myths that shaped how people viewed the stars to our modern scientific discoveries, there's a rich tapestry of human experience woven through our relationship with the universe. For instance, how many of you have laid on a blanket, gazing up at the stars, and felt that overwhelming sense of wonder that hasn't changed throughout the centuries? Ancient civilizations marveled at the same stars we see today, forging stories and beliefs that still resonate with us. It's a cosmic continuity that ties us to the ancients, reminding us that we share the same sky, the same dreams, and yes, the same occasional existential crises, the dark side of discovery. And as we inch closer to the end of this segment, let's not forget to glance at the darker side of our cosmic journey. Science has often been a double-edged sword. While we make incredible advancements in understanding the universe, we also uncover unsettling truths about our existence. For instance, the realization that the universe will eventually end in a slow, cold, and dark demise, known as heat death, can put a damper on any stargazing session. Imagine ancient astronomers who pored over tablets and star maps only to realize they were just a tiny blip in a vast timeline of cosmic events. Talk about a buzzkill. It's a reminder that while we're out here contemplating our place in the Milky Way, the universe itself can be a pretty chilly character, indifferent to our existential musings. Cosmic connections. As we wrap up this exploration of the Milky Way, for now, let's reflect on the connections that bind us to our cosmic counterparts. The human experience is rich with humor, absurdity, and a sprinkle of dark reality, much like the universe itself. we share a legacy of curiosity and creativity, of dreaming big and reaching for the stars. So whether you're a skeptic, a stargazer, you're just someone who occasionally wonders about the mysteries of the cosmos, remember that your journey through life is intertwined with the great expanse of the universe. The Milky Way might be just a galaxy among many, but it serves as a beacon of hope and a reminder of our shared humanity as we prepare for our next adventure into the depths of history and mythology. Keep your eyes on the stars and your heart open to the mysteries that await. Until next time, keep questioning, keep wondering, and keep laughing at the absurdities of existence. Stay curious, everyone. What's going on, everyone? Tonight we're diving into the vastness of the Milky Way, our home galaxy, swirling with stars, mysteries, and a sprinkle of cosmic absurdity. Now, before you get lost dreaming about space travel, let's hit you with a reality check. While movies depict intergalactic adventures and alien friendships, the truth is far messier and more chaotic. We're exploring what the experience of living in the Milky Way was really like, because, spoiler alert, it's not all starlit skies and smooth sailing. Strip away the romanticized versions that Hollywood has fed you, and the reality reveals a galaxy filled with cosmic collisions, dark matter shenanigans, and a whole lot of empty space. But first, if you're enjoying these deep dives into history's darker truths, hit that like button and consider subscribing. Drop a comment letting me know where you're watching from and what drew you to this topic. I love hearing from you all. All right, get settled in, maybe grab a drink, and let's uncover what life was truly like back then. Well, more like billions of years ago, but you get the idea. Let's start with a little trip down memory lane, or rather, a journey through time and space. The Milky Way galaxy is about 13.6 billion years old, which is older than most of us can fathom. Picture the Earth, which is just a sprightly 4.5 billion years old, spinning around an average star, our Sun, within this colossal spiral. Isn't it amusing? We spend so much time stressing about our day-to-day lives, but the universe is like that ancient grandparent who's seen it all and just shakes its head at our petty squabbles, saying, "You kids just don't get it." One of the funnier aspects of our galactic neighborhood is how we often refer to the Milky Way as this pristine, spiraling masterpiece. In reality, it's more like a cosmic junkyard. Our galaxy is home to a staggering amount of cosmic debris, leftovers from the formation of stars, exploded supernovae, and, dare I say, a whole lot of old stardust. It's as if the universe decided to have a yard sale and forgot to clean up afterward. Now, let's talk about the names we've given celestial objects. Have you ever wondered why we have such whimsical names for constellations? Take Orion, for example. In ancient times, people looked up and imagined a hero wielding a club. But if you were to ask an astrophysicist about it today, they might just roll their eyes and say, "It's a bunch of stars that kind of look like a guy." The irony is that while we humans love to mythologize the heavens, those same stars are billions of light years away, and their fate is as unpredictable as a cat on a hot tin roof. Cultural practices surrounding celestial observation have varied wildly through the ages. Back in ancient Mesopotamia, people were mapping the stars with painstaking precision, not because they were looking for a good time, but to predict agricultural seasons. Can you imagine? Hey, let's consult the stars to figure out when to plant our crops. Fast forward centuries, and here we are, drinking lattes while checking our horoscopes for the day. The irony is thick enough to spread on toast. But let's not forget the darker side of our celestial fascination. Have you ever heard of the Mayan civilization's obsession with astronomy? They built entire temples to align with celestial events, like eclipses, which they believed to be omens. Imagine being a Mayan farmer, working your fields, and then seeing a solar eclipse. Your first thought might be, great, time for some ritual sacrifice. Talk about some cosmic pressure. The belief that celestial events directly influenced personal fortune or doom is a recurring theme throughout history. It's fascinating how our ancestors looked to the skies for guidance, even if it sometimes led them to make questionable decisions. Now, we've all heard about the legend of the Milky Way being spilled from the breast of the goddess Hera in Greek mythology. But here's a fun twist. The galaxy's name comes from the Greek word galaxias, which means milky circle. So in a roundabout way, we're all drinking milk from the cosmic breast, if you will. My thoughts on this are simple. Maybe the ancients just had a really vivid imagination. After all, if you squint hard enough at the night sky, a whole lot of things could look like a splash of milk. Speaking of squinting at the night sky, let's delve into some common misconceptions that pop up when we talk about the Milky Way. For instance, many people think of the Milky Way as a solid disk of stars. But in reality, it's a spinning whirlpool of gases and stars, with plenty of empty space in between. It's kind of like a cosmic pizza, delicious in theory, but with some awfully large gaps between the toppings. And don't get me started on black holes. The mere mention of a black hole sends shivers down the spine of any casual stargazer. We imagine them as cosmic vacuums, sucking everything in. But the truth is a bit less dramatic. If you were to encounter a black hole in space, you might just notice that unless you got too close, you'd be just fine. They're more like the universe's recluse, existing in the shadows, but not actively reaching out to suck your entire existence into oblivion. As we consider the cultural practices surrounding the Milky Way, it's worth noting how civilizations have revered the night sky in their spiritual beliefs. The Aboriginal peoples of Australia, for example, have woven the stars into their dreamtime stories, sharing tales of creation and ancestral beings. Their connection to the cosmos is profound, and it reminds us that while we may laugh at some of the myths, there's a deeper understanding of the universe that transcends our scientific explorations. The human tendency to find meaning in the stars speaks volumes about our nature. We are hardwired to seek connections, to make sense of the chaos around us. That's why we named the Milky Way after a dairy product, right? It's as if we were looking up and saying, you know what this swirling mass of stars reminds me of? A nice glass of milk. Now, let's not miss the opportunity to discuss the irony of space travel. We're dreaming of exploring the Milky Way, yet we still have so much to learn about what's right here in our own solar system. What could be more absurd than sending rovers to Mars while debating if pineapple belongs on pizza? But hey, If we can build a rocket to send humans to the red planet, we can certainly have a heated discussion about toppings. We're a creative species, after all. As we look at the present-day efforts to explore space, consider the farcical fact that we're still using ancient constellations to navigate. Here we are, trying to send spacecraft to distant galaxies, and we still rely on the same star patterns that our ancestors used to find their way home after a night of storytelling by the fire. Talk about a cosmic heritage. Our entire navigation system is a tribute to our ancient forebears, who were probably just trying to avoid running into their neighbors. But let's not forget about the potential for misunderstanding. For instance, when Galileo first pointed his telescope at the night sky, he discovered moons orbiting Jupiter. While this was a groundbreaking moment for science, it also sparked controversy. The Church, seeing the implications of a heliocentric model, dismissed his findings. Imagine that cosmic facepalm, a brilliant mind trying to share his discoveries while the powers that be were busy clinging to outdated beliefs. It's a reminder of how, even in our quest for knowledge, we can sometimes get a bit tangled up in our own misconceptions. Now, shifting gears a bit, let's discuss the human nature that threads through all of this. The desire to conquer the unknown. To explore the depths of space reflects our inherent curiosity and ambition. We've sent people to the moon, and soon we may be looking at colonizing Mars. Yet it's ironic that while we strive for cosmic exploration, we often overlook the beauty of our own planet. I mean, can we take a moment to appreciate the fact that Earth is a unique, thriving ecosystem, while we're busy daydreaming about extraterrestrial real estate? Speaking of absurdities, have you ever thought about how we've managed to anthropomorphize celestial bodies? We give names to planets, assign them personalities, and even create stories around them. For example, Venus is our morning star and evening star, a lovely lady in the sky. But the truth is, it's a hellish place with temperatures hot enough to melt lead. It's the universe's idea of a cosmic joke. Hey, let's call this planet Venus, and pretend it's a paradise, when really it's a sauna from hell. In a similar vein, let's consider how modern science has reshaped our understanding of the Milky Way. We once thought it was the only galaxy in existence, but then we discovered the Andromeda Galaxy, and suddenly our universe expanded, quite literally. But as we've learned more, so too have we embraced the absurdities of our discoveries. Dark matter, for example, makes up about 27% of the universe's mass. Yet we have no idea what it actually is. It's the universe's way of reminding us that there's always more to learn, and sometimes things are just plain weird. And so, we arrive at the intersection of the past and present. The Milky Way has been a source of wonder and mystery for millennia, shaping cultures, inspiring myths, and igniting our curiosity. Yet, the more we learn, the more questions we have. It's almost poetic, really. Humanity has aspired to understand the cosmos, only to find that each answer leads to a plethora of new questions. As we continue our journey through the cosmos, it's essential to take note of the human element. We've always looked to the stars for guidance, whether through mythology, science, or our own imagination. In a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable, the night sky remains a constant, a reminder of the vastness beyond our problems and the dreams that lie just out of reach. As we wrap up this exploration of the Milky Way, let's take a moment to appreciate both the absurdities and the profound aspects of our relationship with the cosmos. The next time you gaze up at the stars, remember that those points of light are not just distant suns. They're also symbols of our quest for knowledge, our connection to history, and our never-ending curiosity about what lies beyond. Stay tuned for our next adventure, where we'll be peeling back more layers of history, peeling back the myth from the reality, and perhaps laughing along the way. Because if there's one thing we can all agree on, it's that the universe is a bizarre, beautiful, and utterly unpredictable place. Until next time, keep looking up. And there you have it, folks. As we dive deeper into the mysteries of the Milky Way, let's keep our minds open, our humor intact, and our curiosity alive. I'll see you in the next segment, where we'll continue this cosmic journey together. What's going on, everyone? Tonight, we're diving into the Milky Way, that dazzling spiral of stars hanging over our heads. You might think this celestial beauty is just the universe's way of flexing its aesthetic muscles. But there's a whole lot more going on up there than meets the eye. The reality? Well, it's far more chaotic and bizarre than the glimmering images from space documentaries we have you believe. Strip away all the romanticized notions of the cosmos we've absorbed from sci-fi films and glossy coffee table books, and you'll find that our galaxy is a wild place teeming with drama, violence, and yes, even a bit of dark humor. But first, if you're enjoying these deep dives into history's darker truths, hit that like button and consider subscribing. Drop a comment letting me know where you're watching from and what drew you to this topic. I love hearing from you all. All right, get settled in, maybe grab a drink, and let's uncover what life was truly like back when our ancestors first looked up at the stars and wondered, what the heck is that? Now, let's start by taking a stroll down memory lane, or rather Starlight Lane, because the Milky Way has captivated human imagination for millennia. Picture this: ancient civilizations gazing up at the night sky, using the stars to navigate, tell time, and even predict the weather. The Greeks had their constellations, the Babylonians had their star charts, and the Polynesians used the stars to find their way across the vast oceans. Talk about cosmic GPS! But here's the kicker. While these ancient astronomers were busy charting the heavens, they were also weaving some pretty wild myths around the stars. For instance, the Greeks believed that the Milky Way was created from the spilled milk of the goddess Hera. If you think about it, that's a pretty messy creation story. Imagine a cosmic baby shower gone wrong, with milk flying everywhere and creating a galaxy. Fast forward a few centuries, and we've got the indigenous peoples of North America looking at the same celestial phenomenon and telling their own stories. The Lakota, for example, called the Milky Way Wiya, the sacred path. In their eyes, the stars were not just a bunch of gas and dust. They were the spirits of their ancestors guiding them. So, while the Greeks were mopping up cosmic dairy spills, others were finding a deeper, spiritual connection to the stars. Funny how those cultural interpretations can lead to such different understandings of the same sight. Now, let's not forget how far we've come in our understanding of the universe. By the time Galileo rolled around in the 17th century, we'd shifted from myth to some serious scientific inquiry. With his telescope, he peered into the Milky Way and discovered that it wasn't just a cloudy band of light, but a massive collection of individual stars. The irony? He had to convince people that there were more than just twinkling dots up there. A bit like trying to explain to someone today that your smartphone can do more than just make calls. No, Grandma, it's not just a fancy phone. It's basically a mini computer. Despite Galileo's groundbreaking discoveries, misconceptions about our galaxy persisted well into the 20th century. For instance, let's talk about the island universe theory, which suggested that galaxies were just isolated islands of stars. It wasn't until Edwin Hubble came along and showed us the Milky Way is just one of many galaxies in the universe that we really started to grasp our cosmic neighborhood. And here's a chuckle-worthy thought. Imagine if Hubble had tried to market his findings on social media. Hey folks, I just discovered this little thing called the universe. It's a lot bigger than you thought, but moving back to our galactic home, the Milky Way itself is more than just a pretty face. It's a violent, turbulent place. Stars are born and die in the blink of an eye in cosmic terms, and the life cycle of a star can be filled with drama and, let's face it, a bit of absurdity. Some stars explode in supernovae, which are essentially the universe's way of throwing a grand finale party, complete with fireworks. Others, however, decide to go out in a whimper rather than a bang, becoming black holes. Nothing quite like dying quietly and leaving nothing behind, right? It's like the ultimate cosmic mic drop at a comedy show. And that's my time, folks. See you never, leaving us with a region in space where not even light can escape. If that's not the essence of dark humor, I don't know what is. Hey, I was a star, but now I'm just a dark void. Who's up for dinner? Moving on from the cosmic comedy, let's delve into some cultural practices that seem odd by modern standards, but were deeply woven into the fabric of human society, thanks to our relationship with the night sky. For instance, ancient agricultural societies relied heavily on the stars to time their planting and harvesting. The Farmer's Almanac may seem like a well-thumbed book today, but back then, it was the stars that dictated the rhythm of life. Imagine being a farmer in ancient Egypt, staring at the sky and thinking, well, the stars say it's time to plant. Better get to work before Ra loses his patience. In some cultures, the Milky Way was also seen as a metaphor for a pathway to the afterlife. The Greeks viewed it as the river Styx, while in some indigenous cultures, it represented the spirits of the deceased traveling to the next world. The absurdity? We've gone from using the galaxy to navigate our earthly existence to believing it's a highway for ghosts. If only GPS systems had existed back then, maybe we wouldn't have needed those elaborate myths to find our way. As we forge ahead, it's essential to recognize that the human experience, shaped by our views of the cosmos, has remained surprisingly consistent throughout history. People have always looked to the stars for guidance, inspiration, and sometimes even fear. The dark, endless abyss of space has prompted countless questions about our existence. What's out there? Are we alone? Is that a UFO? Or did I just eat too many tacos? The quest for answers has led to some interesting historical misconceptions. For instance, many ancient cultures believed in a geocentric model of the universe, where Earth was at the center and everything revolved around it. This was challenged by the heliocentric model proposed by Copernicus, which placed the sun at the center. The transition from one worldview to another wasn't smooth. Imagine trying to convince a room full of medieval scholars that they were living in a cosmic sitcom where they were not the stars of the show. Excuse me, sir, but if you could just look up, you'd see that your whole life is a supporting role. Fast forward again to 19th century Europe, and we find ourselves in the midst of the scientific revolution. People were beginning to understand that the Milky Way was just one of many galaxies, but misconceptions persisted. For example, some astronomers believed that our galaxy was the entirety of the universe. After all, if you've only ever seen one pizza place, you might think that pizza is a one-stop shop, right? Spoiler alert, it's not. As the 20th century rolled in, humanity began to unravel the mysteries of the universe with ever more advanced technology. Telescopes grew in size and scope, allowing us to peer deeper into the cosmos. The irony? The more we looked, the more we realized how much we didn't know. It's a bit like peeling an onion. Every layer reveals more layers of complexity and the potential for tears. And let's be real, the universe likes to keep us on our toes. Just when we think we have it all figured out, along comes dark matter and dark energy, which make up about 95% of the universe but remain shrouded in mystery. It's like the universe's biggest game of hide and seek, and we're the poor souls trying to find where everyone went. This quest for knowledge isn't just a scientific endeavor. It's a reflection of our innate human nature. Throughout history, we've sought to understand our place in the universe, often turning to mythology and science to explain what we couldn't comprehend, no matter the era. Humans have always been curious creatures, wondering about our origins, our fate, and what lies beyond our earthly existence. And let's not overlook the connections between past and present. Today, with advancements in technology, we're able to recreate the same wonder that our ancestors felt. The Hubble Space Telescope and its successor, the James Webb Space Telescope, have provided us with stunning images of galaxies, nebulae, and other celestial phenomena, giving us a glimpse into the very fabric of the universe. We've come a long way from staring at a blanket of stars and wondering what they are. Now we can actually visualize the cosmic dance of galaxies colliding, merging, and evolving, like a never-ending ballet of light and gravity. Yet, amidst all this knowledge, we still grapple with some of the same fears and questions our ancestors faced. The vastness of space can be intimidating, and the thought of being alone in the universe is a daunting one. Just think about it. For all our scientific advancements, we still don't have conclusive evidence of extraterrestrial life. It's almost comical. While we've built massive telescopes to search for life beyond Earth, we've also managed to create memes about UFO sightings that are downright hilarious. In a way, the Milky Way serves as a reminder of our shared human experience throughout history. The myths we spun, the scientific breakthroughs we achieved, and the questions we continue to ponder all connect us across time. Whether we're ancient farmers planting by the stars or modern astronomers studying distant galaxies, our curiosity about the cosmos has remained a constant, and as we look ahead, we can appreciate the absurdity of it all. The universe, with its swirling galaxies, explosive stars, and mysterious black holes, is a grand stage where the comedy and tragedy of existence unfold. It's a cosmic soap opera, and we're all part of it, just trying to find our place among the stars. So, what does the future hold for our understanding of the Milky Way and beyond? Who knows? But one thing's for sure. Humanity's quest for knowledge will continue, fueled by curiosity, creativity, and perhaps a few too many cosmic tacos along the way. Stay tuned as we'll keep unraveling the mysteries of our universe and sharing the delightful and sometimes absurd tales of history, science, and mythology that connect us all. Until next time, keep looking up, and remember, the cosmos is full of surprises, and who knows what you might discover next. What's going on, everyone? Tonight, we're diving into the cosmos, specifically the awe-inspiring, head-turning, galaxy-spanning wonder that is the Milky Way. Now, before you start picturing a candy bar enveloped in a chocolatey nougat, like the majority of us might be prone to do, let's hit pause. The reality of the Milky Way is far more intricate than your average sweet treat. You'd think we'd know everything about our own galaxy, right? But take a step back from those romanticized depictions we've seen in movies and books. The truth is, the Milky Way isn't just a pretty backdrop for sci-fi adventures. It's a swirling mass of chaos, mystery, and a hefty dose of cosmic irony. But first, if you're enjoying these deep dives into history's darker truths, hit that like button and consider subscribing. Drop a comment letting me know where you're watching from and what drew you to this topic. I love hearing from you all. All right, get settled in, maybe grab a drink, and let's uncover what life was truly like back then. Or rather, out there in the vast unknown of the Milky Way. Now, let's start with a little bit of cultural perspective. Can you believe that ancient civilizations had a very different view of the Milky Way than we do today? For instance, the Greeks called it Galaxius Kyklos, meaning Milky Circle, and you thought your high school Greek class was useless. They believed it was formed from the milk of the goddess Hera, which is quite the imaginative leap if you ask me. Meanwhile, in some Native American cultures, the Milky Way was seen as a river of spirits. I mean, there's nothing quite like picturing ethereal beings paddling down a cosmic river, right? Who knew the afterlife had such a scenic route? Fast forward to the Renaissance, when humanity began to poke and prod the universe in a way that would make even the bravest of ancient astronomers proud. Copernicus and Galileo were like the original rock stars of science, turning the celestial world upside down, literally. They challenged the long-held geocentric views that had people believing Earth was the center of the universe. Talk about a reality check. The irony? Many people were way more comfortable with the idea of Earth being the main character in the solar system saga, rather than just a supporting role in a much larger cosmic play. I mean, who doesn't want to be the universe's leading lady? Speaking of celestial drama, let's talk about some of the scientific misconceptions that are floated around, much like that pesky space debris. For instance, did you know that the Milky Way isn't actually a flat disk? Surprise! It's a spiral galaxy, and it has a bulge in the center that's home to a supermassive black hole. Yes, you heard that right. A black hole. The kind that devours anything that dares to stray too close. So all those myths about black holes being gateways to other dimensions? Not quite. They're more like the universe's commitment issues, pulling everything in and spitting nothing back out. Imagine telling your friends you had a no-strings-attached relationship, only for them to find out you were secretly a black hole. Hey, I'm just here for a good time, not a long time, you'd say, while voraciously pulling them into your gravitational pull. Classic black hole move. Now, let's get into the human nature elements that connect our past with the present. Humanity has long been fascinated with the stars. It's that age-old desire to understand our place in the universe. The ancient Babylonians were among the first to map out the stars, creating constellations that told stories of gods, heroes, and epic battles. Fast forward to today, and we're still gazing at the same stars, albeit through fancy telescopes and high-tech software. It's like we've upgraded from a campfire story to a full-blown IMAX experience. Yet, in all this advancement, there's a part of us that remains tied to those ancient legends. We still look up at the Milky Way and ponder our existence, as if the galaxy holds the answers to all our life's questions. Who needs therapy when you have the cosmos, right? But here's the kicker. Those ancient myths, while entertaining, often misrepresented the universe. They projected human emotions and experiences onto celestial bodies, treating them as reflections of our own lives. Irony alert. The more we learn about the universe, the more we realize that it just doesn't give a hoot about our personal dramas. The Milky Way doesn't care if you have relationship issues or if you forgot to take out the trash. It's just spinning along in its own cosmic dance. The absurdity of it all? While we obsess over the minutiae of our daily lives, the galaxy is out there, quietly reminding us of how minuscule we really are. Speaking of absurdities, let's take a moment to address those glorious cultural practices surrounding our celestial neighbor. In ancient China, the Milky Way was known as the Heavenly River, and the legend of the weaving girl and the cowherd became a sweet tale of love triumphing over distance. The story goes that the two lovers were separated by the river, aka the Milky Way, and could only meet once a year on the 7th day of the 7th month. You know, no pressure or anything, just a cosmic love story that makes Romeo and Juliet look like a casual fling. Contrast that with modern society, where we have endless ways to communicate, yet still seem to struggle to connect on deeper levels. It's like we went from being Romeo and Juliet to just another couple swiping on dating apps, endlessly searching for that spark. And here's the kicker. Even with our technology, we still look to the stars for answers. It's almost as if the more we advance, the more we yearn for those age-old tales of cosmic romance, like a cosmic Tinder where the Milky Way is our matchmaker. Now, let's dive deeper into some of those misconceptions, because why not? The idea that the Milky Way is brimming with friendly planets just waiting for intergalactic visitors is a bit of a stretch. While we've found thousands of exoplanets, most of them are inhospitable, with conditions that would make your average beach vacation look like a trip to the dentist. Glance at those statistics, and you might just get the feeling that any space tourism plan you had in mind is going to need a serious reality check. And who could forget the bizarre yet fascinating historical concept of the ether? In ancient times, it was believed that the Milky Way was made of a transparent substance that filled the universe, allowing the stars to twinkle. Imagine that, the cosmos as a giant cosmic soup. Modern science has debunked this notion, but don't you find it amusing that at one point people believed the universe was mainly made of invisible goo? Maybe that's what all those ancient astronomers were stumbling over while they were out stargazing, accidentally tripping into the ether like a cosmic slapstick routine. As we transition into discussing our cosmic connections, let's not overlook the influence of the Milky Way on culture and art. From Van Gogh's Starry Night to various works by artists inspired by the swirling beauty of the night sky, the Milky Way has sparked the imaginations of countless individuals. It's like a cosmic muse that whispers tales of wonder and chaos to anyone willing to listen. Yet the irony here is that despite all the beauty and inspiration it provides, we are still just specks in its grand design. While artists paint their interpretations and poets weave their verses, the Milky Way carries on, indifferent to our artistic tribulations. It's the ultimate cosmic troll. Look, but don't touch. It's almost as if the universe is saying, sure, stare at my beauty, but just remember, you can't even comprehend a fraction of my mysteries. And speaking of mysteries, let's wrap our heads around the strange yet fascinating phenomenon known as dark matter. It's a little like the universe's sneaky pet, always lurking in the background, exerting gravitational forces, but completely invisible to the naked eye. Scientists believe it makes up about 27% of the universe, while we can't seem to find a single example of it. Talk about an elusive party guest. It's like the universe threw a bash, and half of the attendees are just hanging out in the shadows, sipping cosmic cocktails, and having a grand old time without us. This brings us to a rather curious irony. As we delve deeper into the scientific exploration of the Milky Way and the universe, the more we realize that we inhabit a realm defined by uncertainty. The complexities of dark matter and dark energy remind us that the cosmos is still full of questions, much like our own lives. We strive for answers, but sometimes the truth is as slippery as a greased pig at a county fair. What's more, the absurdity of human nature shines brightly in the context of our unyielding quest for knowledge. For centuries, we've looked up at the Milky Way, attempting to decode its secrets, all while failing to grasp the intricacies of our own planet. Climate change, social disparities, we're busy searching for extraterrestrial life while neglecting the one life we know for sure exists. Ours. It's as if we're too busy staring at the stars to notice the mess we're making right here at home. That's the cosmic irony for you. The more we explore, the more we realize that we should probably take a moment to clean up our own backyard before reaching for the stars. So, as we continue this cosmic journey through the Milky Way, let's not forget the absurdities, the cultural quirks, and the rich tapestry of human experience that weaves through it all. The galaxy is not just a backdrop for our fantasies. It's a mirror reflecting our hopes, dreams, and, yes, our follies. While we may aspire to unlock the secrets of the universe, perhaps the real lesson lies in understanding ourselves a little better along the way. Stay tuned for more engaging explorations of the cosmos and beyond, as we continue our quest to unravel the mysteries of existence, one star at a time. Let's keep this cosmic conversation going. What do you think? Are we destined to find alien life out there? Or should we focus on fixing our own planet first? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. What's going on, everyone? Tonight, we're diving into the mysteries of the Milky Way, a galaxy that has captivated our imaginations for centuries. You might think it's all starry-eyed romance and shimmering celestial bodies. But here's a reality check. The universe is a bit more chaotic than the serene imagery we see in movies. We're exploring not just the science of our galaxy, but how cultural perceptions have shaped our understanding of it. Strip away the fairy tale versions that books and films have fed you. The reality of our galactic home is far more complex and sometimes downright weird than most people realize. But first, if you're enjoying these deep dives into history's darker truths, hit that like button and consider subscribing. Drop a comment letting me know where you're watching from and what drew you to this topic. I love hearing from you all. Alright, get settled in, maybe grab a drink, and let's uncover what life was truly like back then, when stargazing meant something totally different than it does today. The cosmic canvas, how we've perceived the Milky Way. The Milky Way, our home galaxy, is a swirling mass of stars, gas, and dust, shaped like a giant spiral. Now, if you've ever looked up at the night sky and marveled at the glittering expanse, you might picture it as a tranquil, fairy tale landscape. However, ancient cultures saw it quite differently. For many indigenous groups, the Milky Way wasn't just a collection of stars, it was a vital part of their mythology and daily life. Take the indigenous Australians, for instance. Their Dreamtime stories often featured the Milky Way as a pathway, a bridge between the living and the ancestral spirits. In contrast, European astronomers in the Middle Ages saw it as a chaotic collection of stars, often attributing it to divine displeasure or even the remnants of a celestial battle. Imagine a world where the stars were seen as the aftermath of celestial tantrums. Talk about a dramatic twist for a Tuesday night sky. Mapping the stars, misconceptions, and ironies. As we moved into the age of enlightenment, you'd think we'd start to get our cosmic act together. But no, enter the era of the great cosmic debates. For decades, astronomers argued about the nature of the Milky Way. Some believed it was a single star cluster, while others thought it was a system of separate stars. It's like watching your friends argue over whether pineapple belongs on pizza. both sides are a little nutty. Then there was the misconception that our galaxy was the center of the universe. This idea persisted right up until the 20th century, when Edwin Hubble, in a moment of cosmic clarity, revealed that we're just one of billions of galaxies. Imagine the awkward family dinner when someone finally pointed this out after centuries of proud declarations about being the center of it all. Everyone's like, well, I guess we're just average then. Human nature, constantly curious, mostly confused. What is it about humanity that drives us to look up at the night sky and ponder our place in the universe? Beyond the mere scientific curiosity, there's a deeper, almost primal urge to seek meaning. This has been a constant throughout time, and the Milky Way has often been a backdrop for our existential musings. In ancient Greece, they believed the Milky Way was formed from the breast milk of Hera, the queen of the gods. Yes, you heard that right. Our galaxy is essentially a giant cosmic dairy farm. Talk about a Milky Way. Fast forward to today, and we're still asking profound questions like, are we alone in the universe? Or, why is my coffee always cold by the time I sit down to drink it? Some questions have clearly evolved, while others remain stubbornly the same. Hashtag connections between past and present. The ever-present sky. One of the most striking aspects of our relationship with the Milky Way is how it mirrors our own lives. Just as ancient civilizations used the stars for navigation and farming, we too rely on technology for guidance, albeit a bit more sophisticated with our GPS and smartphones. Yet we still look up for inspiration. When things get tough, people often find solace in the vastness of the night sky, a reminder of our small place in an infinite cosmos. Interestingly, the Milky Way has remained a constant in our lives, despite our ever-evolving understanding of it. While ancient cultures crafted stories around the stars, modern science has turned those tales into data points, using telescopes and satellites to uncover the secrets of the universe. But let's be honest, whether it's through mythology or astrophysics, we're all just trying to make sense of the chaos. And isn't that just a little absurdly human? Hashtag the dark side. Cosmic horrors and absurdities. Now let's talk about the dark side. No, not the cool side of the moon, but the actual terrifying aspects of the Milky Way. For every beautiful star twinkling in the night sky, there are cosmic horrors lurking in the shadows. Black holes, for instance, are like the universe's own vacuum cleaners, sucking everything in their path with no chance of escape. They're the ultimate party poopers of the galaxy. And the irony? We actually live in a relatively peaceful part of the Milky Way. The galaxy is about 100,000 light-years wide, yet we just happen to be tucked away in a quiet corner known as the Orion Arm. It's the cosmic equivalent of living on a cul-de-sac, far away from the chaos of the galaxy's main street, where supernovae and black holes throw perpetual interstellar raves. Yet despite this safety, we're still completely at the mercy of cosmic events. It's like being a hermit crab in the ocean. You're safe in your shell, but a wave could come crashing in at any moment. Hashtag cultural practices and social aspects of cosmic community. Throughout history, various cultures have made fascinating connections with the Milky Way. For example, The ancient Maya had a remarkably sophisticated understanding of astronomy. They constructed calendars based on celestial movements and even built pyramids that aligned with star positions. If their civilization had a motto, it would probably be, "Why just look at the stars when you can build a pyramid in their honor?" They knew how to take their cosmic observations to the next level. Contrast this with the medieval Europeans, who were often more concerned about the demonic influences of the stars. The idea of astrology was prevalent, but it was also fraught with superstition. Imagine a medieval villager looking up and thinking, "Oh no, Mercury is in retrograde. Better stay indoors and avoid stepping on any cracks." We may chuckle at those practices now, but it shows just how intertwined human nature is with the cosmos. We're all just trying to make sense of a world that often feels random and chaotic, whether through pyramids or astrology. Hashtag scientific misconceptions, the great galactic mix-up. If we zoom in on our star-studded neighborhood, it's fascinating how misconceptions about the Milky Way have persisted. One of the most amusing is the idea that the Milky Way is just a collection of stars. In reality, it's a complex web of components, including dark matter, gas clouds, and those pesky black holes lurking in the background, just waiting for the next cosmic snack. Did you know that scientists believe dark matter makes up about 27% of the universe? It's like the universe's version of a secret source that nobody can quite identify. Imagine being at a barbecue where the chef keeps saying, "It's a family recipe," while everyone nods along, pretending they understand. Only in this case, nobody really knows what the family recipe is, yet everyone agrees it's essential to the dish. The absurdity of scale, a cosmic perspective. Speaking of the absurd, let's talk about scale. The Milky Way is so vast that our minds can hardly wrap around it. If we were to travel the speed of light, which is impossible for us mere mortals, it would still take us over 100,000 years to cross the galaxy. That's an epic road trip, but let's be real. Who's packing for that? You'd need snacks for millennia. In fact, one of the most amusing paradoxes of our understanding of space is how we perceive distance. For instance, the nearest galaxy to us, Andromeda, is about 2.537 million light-years away. If you could somehow take a leisurely stroll there and ignore the fact that you'd be 2.5 million years older by the time you arrive, you'd still be able to wave goodbye to your friends who thought they'd see you again in a month. Talk about a long-distance friendship. The legacy of the Milky Way. A future perspective. What does the future hold for our understanding of the Milky Way? As technology advances, the potential for new discoveries is boundless. We're developing better telescopes and space missions that promise to take us deeper into the galaxy than ever before. Perhaps one day we'll uncover secrets that will reshape our understanding of not just the Milky Way, but the universe at large. Yet, despite all this scientific advancement, one thing remains constant: our innate curiosity, whether we're gazing at the stars with wonder or trying to make sense of a scientific breakthrough. The human experience is timeless. As we look to the Milky Way, we're reminded that we're part of something far greater than ourselves, a cosmic community that transcends time and space. In summary, a universe of stories. The Milky Way is more than just a galaxy. It's a tapestry of human history, culture, and inquiry. From the ancient stories woven into the fabric of our past to the scientific explorations of our present, we find a connection that binds us all together. And here's a gentle reminder: the next time you gaze up at the night sky, think about the myriad of interpretations it has spawned throughout history. From cosmic dairy farms to intergalactic debates, the absurdity of human curiosity is what makes our journey through life and the universe so entertaining. So as we continue this exploration of the Milky Way, keep an eye out for the unexpected connections, the absurdities, and the moments that remind us of our shared experience across time. After all, whether we're stargazing or pondering our place in the cosmos, we're all part of the same galactic story. Stay tuned for more fascinating insights as we delve even deeper into our cosmic adventure. Because trust me, the stars have many more stories to tell. As we float back down from the cosmos, where our imaginations danced along the spiral arms of the Milky Way, let's take a moment to reflect on some final thoughts. We've delved into the myths surrounding our galaxy, explored the scientific marvels it presents, and even took a pit stop to marvel at our own place within this vast universe. It's astounding how the cosmos has been both a source of inspiration and an arena of absurdity across the ages. Now, speaking of absurdity, isn't it fascinating how cultures throughout history have personified celestial bodies? The ancient Greeks named the Milky Way after the spilled milk of the goddess Hera, while the Romans viewed it as a path for the souls of the dead. Imagine that for a second. This beautiful, sprawling galactic feature tied to both divine motherhood and the afterlife. If that isn't a cosmic soap opera, I don't know what is. It's almost like ancient civilizations threw a cosmic party and decided everyone needed a slice of the action, whether it was through divine intervention or tragic endings. Now, while we chuckle at the thought of our ancestors staring up at the sky, trying to make sense of their lives through these celestial narratives, it's important to recognize that this urge to find meaning in the stars remains deeply human. Today, we still look up at the Milky Way, captivated by its beauty and vastness, just as our ancestors did. However, instead of attributing its existence to spilled milk or the chariot of the gods, we've turned to science. We've sent spacecraft to explore the far reaches of our galaxy, peering into its depths with ever more sophisticated tools. Yet, for all our technological advancements, don't you find it curious how the questions remain the same? Who are we? Where do we come from? And what lies beyond the stars? It's almost as if every scientific breakthrough only leads to more questions, a bit like opening up a can of cosmic worms. And let's not forget the amusing irony. In our quest for knowledge, we still find ourselves awestruck by the very mysteries we seek to unravel. It's like trying to read the last page of a book while being completely enamored by the plot twists along the way. Consider this. Each twinkling star in the Milky Way is roughly 4.5 billion years old, which is around the same age as our entire solar system. So, in a way, every time we gaze at that beautiful band of light, We're not just looking at stars, we're peering into the very past of our universe. It's a comforting thought, really, that even in the grand scheme of things, we're all part of this cosmic tapestry woven with stardust. Speaking of stardust, let's not forget about those wild theories that some scientists have proposed about the Milky Way's future. If you thought the stories of gods battling it out were dramatic, wait until you hear this. In about 4.5 billion years, our galaxy is on a collision course with the Andromeda Galaxy. Imagine the cosmic reality show that's going to play out. Who will survive the ultimate galactic showdown? Spoiler alert, the answer is probably not us, but it'll be a sight to behold for future civilizations, or whatever cosmic entities come after us. But what does this collision mean for us, sitting on our tiny blue planet? Well, it's a gentle reminder of the impermanence of everything. The stars, planets, and galaxies are constantly in flux, evolving over eons. When you look at the Milky Way, you're witnessing a snapshot in time, forever changing as the universe expands and evolves. It's a philosophical nugget we can chew on. Change is the only constant, and perhaps that's a comforting thought to hold on to during life's unpredictable moments. Now let's shift gears a little and think about how the Milky Way symbolizes our own lives. Each star could represent a person, a memory, or even a dream. Some bright, some faded, and some hidden from view. Just as the stars are interconnected, so are our lives. We all have our paths, our journeys, and occasionally a few cosmic hiccups. It's a beautiful chaos that, despite its unpredictability, makes the tapestry of life meaningful. Of course, we can't ignore the fact that we're also the only species on Earth known to ponder our place in the universe. What a delightful twist of irony, right? We're surrounded by a vast cosmos, yet we spend so much of our time worrying about bills, social media likes, and whether we remembered to take the trash out on Wednesday. It's funny and a little tragic all at once. Perhaps the real lesson from the Milky Way is not just to look up in wonder, but to take a moment to appreciate this fleeting existence and the connections we share. And here's something to chew on. In the grand scheme of things, our lifetime is but a blink of an eye, a mere flicker in the cosmic timeline. Yet, in that blink, we create memories, build relationships, and embark on adventures that define us. It's a reminder that while we might feel small and insignificant against the backdrop of the universe, our experiences and interactions are monumental to us. So the next time you gaze at the Milky Way, maybe let it remind you to cherish those fleeting moments, those beautiful connections, because they're what truly make us human. Let's also consider the absurdity of our current times. Here we are, with smartphones in our pockets, devices capable of connecting us across continents, yet we often fail to reach out to the person next door. We've crafted an entirely new universe of likes, shares, and virtual connections. But sometimes it feels less like the Milky Way and more like a black hole swallowing genuine human interaction. With everything we've learned from the cosmos, perhaps the real takeaway is that we must strive to forge connections with one another as fiercely as we explore the universe. After all, while we might be made from stardust, we're also made for connection. As we wrap up this cosmic journey through the Milky Way, let's take a moment for some thoughtful observations. The universe is ever expanding, filled with endless possibilities and mysteries, much like our own lives. The pursuit of knowledge, the search for meaning, and the connections we forge are what make our existence rich and worthwhile. So, as you gaze up at the night sky, remember that each star tells a story, and you're part of that infinite narrative. Embrace the absurdities and uncertainties of life. Strive for deeper connections and never stop asking the big questions. In closing, let's carry forward that sense of wonder and curiosity, treating each day as if it were a glimpse into something extraordinary. Because, in many ways, it is. And who knows, maybe one day we'll be the ones writing the next chapter in that cosmic story, all while keeping our sense of humor intact. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the Milky Way. Now, go out there, find a dark patch of sky, and let the stars remind you of the beauty and absurdity of life.